Hello and welcome to another episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge Series 3. My name is Nathan Foy and tonight we have another first timer in the chair for you. And who is it? It is Thomas Schwem. Good evening to you, Thomas.
Good evening to you as well, Nathan.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. Very, very well. How about yourself?
Not too bad. We've been waiting a while for this, haven't we?
Yes, we certainly have.
So, you're pretty new to the project. Those who have been hibernating during the off-season probably haven't seen your face before, at least on Force 13.
No.
So,
No,
tell them all a little bit about yourself.
So, I am, as you heard, Thomas Schwent. I'm former owner of a YouTube channel, a quite small YouTube channel called Microcasting St. Louis. I did local weather over there for quite a while, about 2 years actually. And then I decided that I wanted to join the project, so I asked. I got in. I'm primarily better with severe weather meteorology and stuff, better than tropical meteorology, but I'm okay at that. But I'm not much of a tropical cyclone historian, which is why I'm not overly confident I'm going to do that well here, but you know what? I'm going to try anyway.
Now, you're in St. Louis, Missouri, which is quite far away from any storm areas. Do you think that's going to have any impact?
Possibly, because I wasn't born with the ambition of wanting to look at tropical cyclones, and at first I was much more into severe weather, really, because that's what we get a lot more often over here. We have gotten a tropical storm or two that's made it up here, but not in my lifetime.
All right, well, the process, if you're unfamiliar, there's 6 phases to the game with those safe zones in between. The first one's at 40 mile an hour tropical storm, the second one is at 75 miles an hour. Basically, we answer questions to go up the miles per hour tree and become the strongest storm possible. How far do you think you'll get tonight?
I think at my peak intensity, I'm going to get up to maybe 95 miles an hour if I'm lucky.
Rumour has it the game's
I don't
harder
think it'll be
this
that great.
season than last season, which was harder than the previous season as well, so,
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Alright, there's 4 available lifelines to begin with. Those are the half-time lifeline, where we move on to the next question, but the time limits are then halved, which is sort of like a last-ditch resort almost. 50-50, of course, flip the question altogether, or the risk lifeline. If your first 5 questions are answered correctly without the use of a lifeline, which happens most of the time, if not all the time, you will get awarded the 5th lifeline, the double dip.
Got it.
All good?
Yep, all good.
Let's begin the first question in your game. Here it is, for 20 miles an hour. Question 1. Hurricane Michael made landfall in which country in 2018? Is it A, the United Kingdom, B, Mexico, C, China, or D, the United States?
Gonna have to go with the United States, final answer.
That is the correct answer. I had a feeling you'd get that one right.
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be quite worrying if I didn't.
Alright then. So you were awake during 2018? That's good to know. Here's the next question. The peak of Atlantic hurricane season falls in which month? Is it January, February, March, or September?
September, final answer.
Yes, we're getting you in slowly. It's an easy start. Alright, great.
Easy start.
Question number 3, two questions away from tropical storm status. Which of these storms did not reach Category 5 strength in 2018? Was it Hurricane Florence, Typhoon Mangkhut, Hurricane Lane, or Cyclone Marcus?
Which did not make it to Category 5 status?
Yep.
Florence, final answer.
Final answer, that is correct. Well done, and we are 1 away from tropical storm status, and the crowd will cheer. Fake applause in the background will be there for you. Number 4. What is the typical sea surface temperature threshold for tropical cyclone genesis? Is it 25 Celsius, 26 Celsius, 27 Celsius, or 28 Celsius?
26 Celsius, final answer.
And you are Tropical Storm Thomas.
Let's go.
Hooray! There they are, all clapping in the background. Thank you very much, audience. It's surreal, isn't it? Alright, the next
surreal
stage, which gets you from tropical storm status to hurricane status, if you get them all right. Will have 30 seconds to answer these questions, and if you get the next one right, you'll get that 5th lifeline too. I hope you get it. Here it is. Which 2005 hurricane caused the largest evacuation? Is it Emily, Katrina, Rita, or Wilma?
I don't truly know this, but I'm going to go with Katrina. Final answer, just because it's Katrina.
Final answer.
Yep.
Thomas? Do you think you got it right?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't know for sure.
Thomas, it's the wrong answer.
Oh, there we go. It was Wilma, wasn't it? No.
It's Rita.
Again, wrong. It's Rita. You gotta be kidding. Why would Rita have a bigger evacuation?
Because people were
I should've
scared
used the
about
lifeline.
Katrina.
That's deeply saddening. Well, you know what? I told you I was gonna do really bad.
All right.
Gonna do really bad.
Well,
Yep.
that was Thomas.
Well, there we go. Yep.
I thought he'd do well, but at
Yeah,
least
I didn't.
I can't believe
I didn't.
you
I should
do
have
know.
gone to 50-50.
You
I didn't even use
you
the
do know
lifeline.
what Strat's going to say after this, Thomas. After his embarrassment last year,
Welcome
it's
to the
on
club,
a par
buddy.
with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see you next time. Well, hey,
Yes,
if you'd like to take part in a future episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge, please get in touch with us through any of our usual mediums or send a message to contact@force13.com. Let's see how far you can get by taking on the computer in the Super Cyclone Challenge. Thomas, thanks for playing, but
You're welcome, Nathan.
wasn't the ideal scenario, but there we
No.
go, it sometimes ends that way. Thomas is the first person to go away with 40 miles per hour in a singles game since Leighton Holland in January 2018. And now for the next game. We're on Game 3 of Series 3. Tonight, I am joined by another one of our regular members, Ethan. Good evening.
Good evening, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good on summer break right now. Luckily, school has been out for a few days. But it's been pretty warm here, around 80, 70 degrees on average. Hasn't really been getting to the 60s like it was last week, which is good news.
We got a slight delay on your visual there, as opposed to your audio, a bit sync delay, but hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. So, there's a big game ahead of us. How far do you think you'll get tonight?
Well, I'm really hoping for major hurricane status. That's my goal. But, any farther is what I'm really aiming for.
And most people who set realistic goals get to their goals, so we'll see how that goes. One or two rumours that this series is more difficult than the last one, so let's just see. Reminder of the lifelines, it's the same format as it was back in the doubles series at the end of last year, so you've got the 50-50 flip the question risk lifeline and the half-time lifeline, where we move on to the next question, but pay the price, time limits are then halved. Until stage 6 anyway, if you get that far. If you answer the first 5 questions in a row correctly without using a lifeline, you'll get that last lifeline awarded the double dip, and then you'll have all 5 at your disposal. Alright?
The lifeline will come to my hands eventually, I can guarantee you.
Excellent. Certainly hoping so. 6 phases, of course, and that means there are several safe points in the middle. Tropical storm status, hurricane status, major hurricane status, 150 miles an hour super hurricane status, and 180 miles an hour, which we're dubbing mega hurricane status. 24 questions separates you from the top of the miles per hour tree and the strongest storm in the world. Are we ready to roll?
Let's begin question 1. Let's do this.
Excellent. Here we go. 20 seconds on the clock for the first 4 questions. Here's the first one. What does NHC stand for? Is it National Horticultural Centre, Natural History Convention, the National Hurricane Center, or National Hypercane Chaos?
Gee, I wonder. Oh, it is the National Hurricane Center. Final answer.
That is the correct answer. 20 miles an hour it is. And the crowd's there applauding. Excellent. Well done. Good start. Here is the next.
Not hard at all.
Yeah. Here it is. How many Category 5 hurricanes formed in the Atlantic in 2017? Is it none, 1, 2, or 3?
Well, it depends on whose analysis you
Officially.
go by.
These are all official.
But yes, the official was Irma and Maria. That would make it 2. Final answer.
That is the correct answer. 30 miles an hour it is. And just a reminder, during our Super Cyclone Challenge and any of Force 13's game shows, we do use official terms and numbers. Alright. Here is the next question. Which of these storm tracking agencies are based in the Western Pacific? Is it the Bureau of Meteorology, the India Meteorological Department, the UK Met Office, or the Japan Meteorological Agency?
Japan Meteorological Agency. Final answer.
You're getting bored by this, aren't you? It's the right answer. 35 miles an hour it is.
Yeah, I am. So good bored.
Let's not get a false sense of security, maybe. Let's see. This separates you from tropical storm status. Hope you get this. How are El Nino events measured? Is it sea temperatures, air pressure, or CO2 concentrations?
Sea temperature. Final answer.
And there it is for Tropical Storm Ethan. Congratulations.
40 miles an hour weekly.
Yes,
Weak tropical
indeed.
storm.
So, from PTC status, perhaps, to Tropical Storm status.
This is not PTC 10 at least.
And I was just waiting for that joke to come up. Alright, so 30 seconds on the next 4 questions, and if you get this next one right without using a lifeline, you get that double dip awarded too. Hopefully you won't need them for a while yet though. As soon as I can configure everything here, we're on to our next question, number 5. The typhoon warning system in the Philippines has how many levels? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6?
If I'm not mistaken, it was 4 recently, but I believe it's 5 now. Final answer.
5.
Yes.
You're right. That is the correct answer. It was 4 recently, and now it is 5 in the last few years.
Yeah, because I remember during Haiyan the max was 4, but during Mangkut I was hearing that it was 5. So
There we are.
by Mangkut.
Here is the next question. The 2015 El Nino event greatly enhanced cyclone activity in which ocean? Is it the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, or Southern Oceans?
Say the answers again, please.
The Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, or Southern Ocean?
Well, this is easy. That's Pacific. Final answer.
Totally is. It's the right answer. So, 60 miles an hour, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, at this point. 2 away from hurricane status. It's plain sailing so far. Question number 7. How long had the Atlantic not seen a Category 5 storm prior to Hurricane Matthew? Was it 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, or 9 years?
That would be 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. Final answer.
Do you remember which one it was?
Felix.
Indeed, and that is
Back
the
in-
correct answer.
7.
2007. It is the right answer. 65 miles an hour it is. Getting ahead of myself there. No, it is 70 miles an hour. Yeah, I don't even know my own game. Alright, the next question will get you to hurricane status, and it really hasn't been any trouble so far at all. Let's see if we can get there quickly. Here we go. Which of these Atlantic hurricanes was the strongest? Is it Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Isabel, Hurricane Ivan, or Hurricane Irene?
That would be Irma. Final answer.
You're saying Irma.
Yeah, well,
You've said it.
180.
You've said it. Final answer. You think it's right?
Well, yeah, because Irene was Cat 3. All the other ones I believe were 4s or 5s, but Ivan and Isabella 165, so Irma was 180, so it has to be Irma.
Yep, just checking. That is the right answer for hurricane status, category 1. Well done. Audience favorite.
2 more categories to go to my goal.
Yes, so, and
there.
that is in our game formulated inside the next 4 questions. This will be big for you, and you're still in very good stead. 5 lifelines available, so it's almost guaranteed you're going to get there. Let's not jinx it. 40 seconds you'll have on the next 4 questions, and you can just say lifeline and it stops the clock whilst you have a few more seconds of thinking time exactly what you want to use. Okay, question 9 will get you up to 80 miles an hour. Here it is. What was the deadliest storm of the 2002 Atlantic hurricane season? Is it Arthur, Hannah, Isidore, or Lily?
Lifeline.
Okay.
Which, what are the lifelines again?
So, the 50-50, flip the question, the risk, double dip now, the half-time lifeline.
I'm gonna go flip the question.
Alright, here is a flipped question for you, which appears to be rather interesting as well. Here it is. 40 seconds.
God.
What was the strongest storm of the 1966 Atlantic hurricane season? Is it Alma,
Oh, dear God.
Dorothy, Faith, or Inez?
Oh boy. I'm gonna go on a long shot. I'm gonna say Dorothy.
Long shot.
Dorothy, final answer.
With 25 seconds remaining on the clock, what makes you say Dorothy?
I completely guessed.
Well, if you had been reading the reanalysis that they were doing recently, you'd certainly know what the right answer was, and the correct answer was Inez. It was not Dorothy. It's the wrong answer, I'm afraid.
Inez was one of the answers? God.
Did you not hear?
No, I didn't.
Oh, crumbs. I'm so sorry. That's just how it goes sometimes.
I thought the cookie crumbles.
That is how the cookie crumbles. You've reached 75 miles an hour in the end, Ethan.
This is not a weak tropical storm, at least.
Yep, hurricane status. You know, I have noticed as soon as we get to stage 3, the question difficulty seems to go up. But there we go. That's how it ends up this time around. 75 miles an hour. Your thoughts? Are you a bit disappointed in that?
Well, I mean, yeah, to be honest,
You
but
left 4
deadliest.
lifelines on the table.
Yeah, when it comes to deadliest storms, those hit me in the head always. But when it comes to also strongest storms, like back in the 1960s, 1950s, that also really hits me in the rear.
Well, if you're going to guess that deadliest storm question, what would you have said? Arthur, Hannah, Isidore, Lily?
I would have said Hannah, probably.
The right answer was Isidore. You would have been wrong on both questions. Alright, well. Any advice you'd like to give to future players?
Just try your best.
Use them like.
Be sure to research your storms.
Last week we looked at the biggest winners on the Super Cyclone Challenge, and it follows this week that we now look at the biggest and worst losers. We've now seen 22 singles games of the Super Cyclone Challenge, and Thomas is only the 6th person to go away with just 40 miles per hour. That's also how the first ever episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge went on November the 2nd, 2015, when Cesar's live game went awry. The Cape Verde Islands, the British Isles, the Canary Islands, or the Cayman Islands?
Oh my god.
Hurricane Debbie.
I think it was in Cayman Islands.
Final answer?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Caesar. Oh! That was so close, Caesar.
Okay, that's long silence then.
It's a very long, tense silence. Caesar, I'm sorry, it's the wrong answer.
So it was a Cape Verde-like, or what is?
Caesar, Hurricane Debbie affected the British Isles.
The British? What the?
Yes, it hit Ireland. 2 days later, Michael Scott finished with the same amount. Which country in 2003? Is it A, Portugal, B, Canada, C, Spain, or D, Bermuda? Hurricane 1.
I think it was Bermuda, because that was one of the NS storms. Because I remember my mate's auntie lived in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia.
That's not in Bermuda, is it?
No, but I mean,
2 seconds.
Past. Yeah, I'll go for Bermuda. My final answer. It's because no, it's what my mate said. Is that his aunt said that they were hit by a storm that hit Bermuda, which was Hurricane 1.
But you went with Bermuda as your final answer.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Michael,
Yeah.
you've lost.
Wait, did you say Nova Scotia as well?
The correct answer is Canada. That's where Nova Scotia is. Michael! And after a strong start, it went the same way for Benjamin too. Sustained winds of 280 kilometers an hour is equivalent to what Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale category? Category 1, Category 3, Category 4, or Category 5?
Category 4.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Sure you don't want a lifeline? Okay. You've gone with your final answer for Category 4. Storm sustained winds of 280 kilometers an hour on the cusp of hurricane intensity. Benjamin, you went for 4. I can tell you it's not 1. It wasn't 3. Benjamin, I'm so sorry. It was Category 5.
Oh.
Benjamin, you didn't touch a lifeline. Another person to go away with 40 miles per hour was Lee Barrett, although he did do much better in his doubles game with David last year. Which of these 2012 storms came first? Is it A, Typhoon Sanba, B, Hurricane Sandy, C, Hurricane Michael, or D, Cyclone Yasmin?
Say Michael. I'll say Michael. But
Final answer, Michael?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright. So he's gone for Michael. Lee, what do you think?
I'm probably wrong. But
If you think you're wrong, then why have you gone for it?
I don't know. I just took a guess at this one.
Hey. Yeah, you had 60. Was it 65? No, you're on 60. You're going for 65.
Yeah.
Lee, it's the wrong answer.
Yeah, I thought that.
But you probably
Not
don't
like-
care so much because all you wanted was to be a tropical storm. That's
Well,
exactly
because
what
it was
you've
my
got.
first time, so
Of course, some of our players can do extremely well and still be a bad loser. Although for Marcel, it was a little bit worse than that when he took the risk lifeline in 2017.
I'm gonna try Ellen.
You're gonna say Typhoon Ellen of 1959.
Yeah. Yes.
You just chose the correct answer and Marcel has lost.
Oh wow.
Oh dear, oh dear. However, misreading the question, or indeed its answers, could also prove a bit difficult, like Leighton Holland found out in January 2018. Southern Hemisphere seasons. The most intense storm. Bansi, Eunice, Pam, or Winston?
Winston.
Is that your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Leighton? Winston is the wrong answer. The 2014-15 Southern Hemisphere season
Oh wow, that was 15-16. It's about to be
was
worse.
15-16. Leighton,
Oh,
what
yeah.
are you doing? But for some, being wrong is just something that is completely unthinkable. That's what appeared to be the case when Gabe finished up his game with 75 miles an hour on that JTWC question.
It's a good question.
The Joint Typhoon Warning Center are based on which islands? Masserine, Hawaiian, Mariana, or the Philippine Islands?
Mariana Islands.
Gabe?
Hmm?
It's not the Mariana Islands. It's the Hawaiian
Really?
Islands.
Really?
They moved. They moved to Pearl Harbor. They used to be on the Mariana Islands in Guam, but they moved.
What?
Yes. Gabe, I'm so sorry. Pearl Harbor is the answer.
Pearl Harbor is an answer?
Pearl Harbor is the correct answer. The Hawaiian Islands, as opposed to the Mariana Islands. They used to be there as the Fleet Weather Center many, many years ago, but they are now in Hawaii.
That's probably why.
Meanwhile, I think it's quite clear to say that the worst doubles players were Strat and Orlando, mainly Strat. Barbados or Guadeloupe?
Seeing Marcel called a Category 4, I know it was right by Antigua when it impacted it most. It didn't get to the Greater Antilles Islands.
Final answers.
Yeah.
31 seconds on the clock. Strat,
You're wrong.
it affected Dominica. It's the wrong answer.
I was thinking of Dominica, but I didn't want to go with it because I didn't think I'd do better, but oh well.
These guys suck. Get them out of here.
I mean, you could always cut that clip out and redo the question, you know?
No, we don't do that here, Strat.
I'd like to do a redemption one.
And you, the viewers, decided that they would. Not being retired in the Atlantic. Is it Klaus, Ione, Thomas, or Omar?
Tomas is in use, I know that.
Then isn't that what he's asking for?
He's saying are you saying which one isn't retired?
Yes, which of these names has not been retired?
Oh, well then it's
Tomas.
gotta be Tomas.
Final answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
38 seconds left on the clock when you're locked in your final answers there. Strat, what makes you so sure?
Wasn't it used in the 2012 season?
Stratifier,
Yeah.
you just picked the wrong answer. Tomas was retired in 2010.
That makes a lot of sense then, because I was thinking that it was either I was thinking about Omar originally because I don't remember that ever being like a special storm whatsoever, and
that is the right answer. Omar was the right answer.
This is what happens when you trust Strat.
Yes.
What do you mean? You could have just told me you didn't think that was the
Never
answer.
Well, that is another game that goes away there. 75 miles an hour for Ethan, so he did get the hurricane status, but quite a weak one at that. At least it wasn't the weakest of the weak tropical storms, or even nothing at all. It can happen. It does happen sometimes. Not for a very long time. I can't remember if that actually happened recently. The Strat's not very good, that's all I know. If you'd like to take part in a future episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge, please get in touch with us. Send us a message through any of the usual mediums, or you can send us an email at contact@force13.com. Until next time, we'll see you again soon. The Series 3 continues. We'll have more episodes coming up. We'll see you again soon. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
What were you doing? What's going on?
I don't know.
Inez is going to be a Category 5 in the analysis.
I know. I thought that Inez was later on.